Hi guys, Kim here. Welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's video, we are going to do an October garden tour. Here in my garden, it is the end of October and I garden in Charlotte, North Carolina, Zone 8. So I hope you enjoy my garden tour. But before I do that, me and my neighbor Dawn across the street, she's in my videos a lot. She is like my friend that we can go enjoy like all the beauty in every garden. Like she is my friend that we can go do. She's up for any garden, anytime, anywhere. So I love that about her. But the garden that we went to was here in Charlotte, North Carolina, near Southpark. And the garden was called Serenity Garden. And it was a true garden oasis if you like Woodland garden oasis. So let me tell you a little bit about the Serenity Garden as I show a few clips about the garden. So this garden, like I said, is near Southpark area in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it is a living legacy of the Reams family. They have several thought-provoking sculptures throughout the garden, and I'm going to share some with you. And the Reams' mission for this garden is for all nature lovers to nurture their garden space to contemplate, meditate, and find peace. So me and Dawn definitely found peace in this garden, and it was a great adventure for us. It's really hard to believe that right in the middle of the city, there was 4 acres of nothing but a woodland garden. So I hope that you enjoy and find peace in my garden as well. Okay guys, as we share the beauty and peace of my garden, I would like to share with you another YouTube channel called With the Saints. And he was talking about being raptured and the ones left behind, and that God wanted us to have a love letter to the ones that were left behind. Now, I do pray so much that all my family, like all my kids, grandchildren, parents, my sister, and all my immediate family get taken at the same time. But if they do not, that God gave him instructions to give us a love letter, and he gave us all of these different areas to go look in the Bible, and I'll throw them on the screen for you. So Psalm 17, 139 reads, "How precious are your thoughts about me, O God. They cannot be numbered. I can't even count them. They outnumber the grains of sand. And when I wake up, you are still with me." So I hope that gives you comfort. That's one of them. And I encourage you to still look at the other ones that I'm going to throw up the screen, because I am too. And I'm going to take them just pretty much like one day at a time, so I can take it all in as well. So let's look at some of God's beauty that we have here in my garden. This salvia looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the pink color, the hot pink purplish color. It's beautiful. This one has really done well in my garden. I love that. Some of the Gara looks beautiful. Look how beautiful these little white blooms are. Another thing that's really striking here in my garden that I really do love is this black-eyed Susan, and this is called Orange Appeal, which even though it looks a little peachy to me, I think that's beautiful. And then my lantana tree that I planted this past year is starting to get some gorgeous little blooms so late in the fall. I'm kind of disappointed that I'm getting such beautiful flowers right now when it's so close to getting to be frost time. But I do love the grass here. This grass adds some movement into the garden, and I really like how it's just kind of mingling in with all of this. Don't you think that's beautiful? I really do like that. This black-eyed Susan is one that I'm going to continue to grow into my garden because I think it's just beautiful. I love the structure of the obelisk here too, because it gives some height into the garden, and you can actually look up and draw things to your eyes. It is just beautiful. So I encourage you to add some height into your garden as well. And that's one of the reasons why I did that lantana tree. And I took a chance on that one. I'm hoping that it'll come back. So we'll see. A lot of these perennials will be cut back soon, as soon as the frost hits it. So this Walker's Low is going to be cut back. So will the Gara. You can see like some of the old foliage here. And I do love that the stems right here give a little bit of fall color as well. Then you can see down here where the new foliage is. So when I do cut things back, everything will get cut back to here. And then I'm not really sure about this. When the frost hits it, I may have to end up cutting that back down to the ground too, but we'll see. All three of my containers here are the exact same, and I do love putting some kind of little art into my containers right there as well. This one just reminded me of my channel with Backyard Blooms with Kim. If you missed my video on what shrubs not to prune back in the fall, this was one of them. This is a lilac bush, so this is one that we will not prune because it blooms early in the spring. So that's something that you do not want to prune. Now this candy corn, it can get pruned way back as well. And I love that bright red color that comes out into the spring. And then over here you can see some of the shade-loving plants. We have hellebores and lungwort right here. Now the hellebores are going to give me color throughout the winter time. They're like an evergreen. I don't really see much old foliage. If I had old foliage, I would cut that back, but I'm excited to see some of them bloom. I don't see any blooms on them yet. Now the lungwort's going to be cut way back. And then back there you can still see my pufferfish. It needs to be pruned back as well. Some things I need to do move next year. So this hosta has not been happy here. It needs to be moved back. And then over here you can see some of my jonquils coming up already. So I'm pretty excited about that. And they come back every single year. And the place that I like to get my bulbs are from Color Blends. Just more hellebores, more lungwort. Just FYI, the lungwort, like it just continues to come up. It spreads a little bit. And then over here you can see this one's looking pretty sad, so I need to remove some of these plants and even this grass and just refresh the dirt. But these begonias are doing great this time of year. They really do like the cooler weather. Look at this lantana, like it is being a beast. This was just one little annual that I planted last year that came back this year, and I'm going to say it's every bit of 2 feet by 3 feet. It is massive, and again, it likes all the colors are more vibrant because of the cooler nights. So those that always have cooler nights, be appreciative of that, because I'd say that some of your blooms probably look a little bit better. These dahlias look really, really pretty. They're turned away because they're trying to see the sun. Let me see if I could turn one around here for you. Look how gorgeous these are. Now I will leave these in the ground, and I think these will winter over. I do have several dahlias over in that area over there that come back each year. I'm just really, really bad about staking them. Really, really bad. Now down here you can tell that I was gone over the weekend, and I need to ask my husband to come help me. But my invisible fence right here with the fishing line right here, you can see that this one's missing, and actually this one is all the way on the ground. So we need to fix that, so to prevent like some of the deer coming in. It helps, but like I said, it doesn't prevent it totally. Some of the yarrow really is pretty over here. Look at this bright red color. Isn't that gorgeous? And then I even have some down here with a little bit of the pink on it. And then some that are spent blooms as well. And then I really, really like this Rebecca right here. I was hoping when I planted that last year that it would come back and like really like fill up this area, but it hasn't. So maybe it's still trying to sleep this year, and maybe it'll creep a little bit like next year. So sometimes they say first year they sleep, second year they creep, and the third year they leap. And then I had yellow yarrow right there. And then right here, I'm gonna like revamp this whole area next year, and I'm gonna have to plant something that deer don't love. So I'll remove all the sedum, and then I'll have to move this hydrangea too because it likes to eat on that as well. And then for some reason, I have some kind of plant that keeps coming up, and it's really has these thorns on there. I think it's like a blackberry. So some of the birds may have dropped seed right there. Let's come over here and see if we can find a dahlia. That's beautiful. Like I said, I'm really bad about staking. Can you tell? This dahlia right here has came back for many years. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, I'm going to share a bouquet that I just did recently too, because I thought we were going to have some frost, and I picked as many blooms as I could to take inside, and I'm going to show you that. And then this one is a real pretty. Oh, look how beautiful that is. I have another one down here. Let's see. A little bit lighter pink. And then this shrub right here is a brand new shrub, and I'm pretty excited about it. This was called the Temple of Bloom, and look at these blooms right here, you guys. Look at that. So lots and lots of interest with this tree right here. The foliage is supposed to turn. It hasn't turned yet. And of course, these dahlias over here are just like loving life. They're just absolutely beautiful. Lots of different dahlias. Now my hope was to sell some cut flowers this past year, but I just didn't have enough. So that kind of didn't happen this past year. Oh, look. So I'm getting more blooms like really late in the season for whatever reason. Let's come over here and look at these orange ones. Orange and yellow. All the little bugs are just enjoying life in there. Look at the bee on this one. That's gorgeous flower. And this one's a white one. It's just starting to put out some different blooms too. And you guys, if you plant celosia, you're going to have celosia forever because this thing drops seeds like crazy. And look at the orange down here. I'm in love with these. These are so pretty. The bees love them too. Look at that. So bring your dahlias inside to enjoy the blooms. And this is my SAVANA garden, and I'll put the link up to you. It's just a raised garden bed. And you could see, like, I planted all kinds of seeds in here, but I have more celosia growing like crazy. Can't really even like tell like what type of seed that may have came up. I know that definitely has come up from seed. I think that looks more like kale maybe. And this one came up from seed. But you guys, the celosia just kind of like all took over. So I'm going to have to constantly prune that back up. But I planted this whole thing with seed and it didn't really happen for me. I need to come down in here and water it again. Do you guys have good luck with fall seed for like spinach and stuff like that? I probably should have maybe like seeded it inside, possibly. I do need to do a video on like getting seeds from different things, collecting seeds. Like this one looks like that'd be a good one to collect seeds from. So that's going to be another time, another video. see. David Austin Rose looks beautiful here. Like I said, they like the cooler nights too. Need to come in Deadhead, as you can see. Boxwoods look pretty. Some of my crepe myrtles are turning colors. Can you tell? They're changing colors. And then even the background, this is not my property, but you can see some of the fall foliage as well. Beautiful. So this is the cottage garden. So I have a lot of work cut out for me in this area right here. Some of the planters need to be taken care of, pulled out, removed. I do have some Gara in here that I need to replant. That should make it. Tater tots looking gorgeous here. These begonias are beautiful. This is the apple blossom. You can see I need to remove some of these caladiums. Just kind of pull them out. They're about done. As you can see, just about done. So I need to come back and get that foliage down there. We were gone for the weekend, so I turned my fountain off. I need to come back and turn that back on. These aren't looking so happy for whatever reason, so I need to come. They look just like they're toasty, like they're not getting enough water, but I have been watering them. And then this is the west side garden, so we'll come back over and do that last. I thought I pulled all these strawberries up, but evidently, but I still like some of the blooms on the strawberries. They must have still had roots in them. You can see like a few little strawberries on there, but not very many. Need to do something totally different with that planter next year. This Carex is beautiful. I do love that. And then over here, I do need to come and fix one of my drip right there that's been cut. So to be honest with you guys, I really didn't want to do this video today, even though it's the end of October and I need to get it out. I had to go to the bank today because one of the checks that I deposited, they had the wrong number or amount on it, and I had to go dispute it. So that kind of got me down. So then I went and did that, and then I came back and exercised because I know you guys already know, like last year, I lost a lot of weight, but I did it medically induced, which is probably just not a great thing. And I gained that and more back, and it made me feel really sick. So it just wasn't right for me. And now I'm trying to get back on track. For whatever reason, I just feel like I'm just constantly stressed all the time. And I know my cortisol, I don't know if it's my hormones. Like I don't even really, I know other people have way more things to be stressed out about than I do. So I don't know what my deal is, but anyways, so I came back and just got on the bike. I even cried while I was riding on my Peloton bike. I just like cried, and maybe that was good for me. I just like let it all go. But anyways, I'm like struggling with my weight. I'm trying to get that back on track. We're supposed to go to a wedding the end of November, so I'm trying to where I like feel good for that anyways. These pansies look very beautiful. Look at this purple heart. Isn't that gorgeous? Just beautiful. That's the name of the purple heart. A lot of people say just to kind of keep these in containers, but I do love it. It has a great interest. And so does this vinca vine. It's beautiful. like early, kind of late in the summer, it started looking kind of bad. So I just cut it back and it like came back gorgeous. Look how beautiful it is after I cut it back. So if you know something that comes back for you, such as a perennial like this, just kind of cut it back and leave the roots and just maybe like water it and give it some nutrients, and it's going to just bounce back really, really good for you. So over here, I don't really see that much blooms. Like I need to come in deadhead. Up here near the, trying to think of this flower. It's another David Austin rose, Gabrielle Oak. She has a really, really pretty bloom. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look how deeper the color is. If you've been watching my channel, like you'll know, like they've not been this deep. So that's the reason why I love this time of year. I love when they come out in May and then this time of year too. Even though there's not an abundance of them, they're always still beautiful. Now these, I swear that I'm going to cut half of them off next year so I can still have some beautiful blooms like this. The deer did it for me last year, and of course my fence kind of kept them back, and now like I'm going to have to do it myself. This is pretty. Look how dainty that is in the middle there. So I cut some of these back, and then I'm going to have to work on these this week too, cutting them back. What type of fall foliage do you all have that's gorgeous this year? Now I just planted this maple tree, so I'm hoping next year when I get out the brand new foliage, like it's going to look even better, because this one was a little bit of shock when I planted it, but it's looking really healthy. I feel like I'm getting some fall color from the sedum right here. That's giving me some fall interest. Love that. I think I had some beautiful blooms down here too that were dahlias. Let's go see. May have to go to the other side. Yeah, my fence is just all wonky. You can tell they've been up in here. So I did this so we can get in and out for mowing with this arbor right here, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful arbor. So I pruned this way back because it was growing into my tree. This I planted from seed, and it is a mahogany splendor hibiscus, I believe was the name of that. So let's see what dahlias we have over here. So this is a zinnia that came back from seed from last year. I still have a few tomatoes. Need to come and grab me some ripe tomatoes here. And then look at this beauty. Look how big she is. Look at my hand. That's a gorgeous flower. And then I have another one here. Seeing a lot of these little, I think, is that some type of ladybug maybe? Maybe their larvae turns from that into regular ladybugs, I believe. Of course, celosia from last year. Oh my gosh. This one's going to be a good one to get some seed from. And then look how pretty. Those are just like a striking, just real light blush color. And then another zinnia. And then of course the celosia is really pretty, but they, like I said, they drop seed like crazy. All that came back from last year. Did not plant any celosia over here. This was supposed to be my dahlia bed. As you can see, I have two raised beds. I'd like to reconfigure this a little bit. We'll see. And I wouldn't doubt if the deer jumped this little fence too. I wouldn't doubt it. See the berries right here are starting to form on the Nellie Stevens. I'm not sure what happened to that lavender, put something else in there, something different. Still have a few geranium blooms that are coming up here and there, like this one. This surprised me. This is Roxanne. I never thought that I was using it as a ground cover right here, but I never thought that it would climb and get so tall to come up through my hydrangeas. I never thought that. I have another arbor just like the other one, and I'll put the arbor in my comments too under more if you like the arbor. Geranium's beautiful. Last year, about this time, I planted this up, you guys, and I'll put that video up as well. I even dressed up for you for Halloween. And that video didn't do great, but anyways, if you want to like look at how I planted this up, you can go to that video. See the apple blossom begonia. One of my subscribers asked me what this is, and I'm pretty sure that it's St. John's wort, but I'll go back to the video and put the name up on the screen for you. It's just beautiful with the pink greens, cream color. So you even have some that's just nothing but green on it. Look at this. It's got a variety of different colors. So this is a Hinoki cypress. It's beautiful. I love touching this plant. Let me put these tomatoes up there. One of the trees that I just love right now is this coral bark maple. It's beautiful. It's starting to get this coral bark like here in the fall. Love that winter interest, and I love that it's got the yellows and oranges on there. We just went to the mountains too, and oh my gosh, the beauty of the colors are up there gorgeous. Alyssum is doing really, really good. This I planted from seed, and I did every other, but you can see how the white and the purple are starting to mingle in together. I love that. But it was supposed to be a whole hedge. It's not a whole hedge. It's not. I've been slowly pulling all these dahlias up and celosia. I'm not going to do that next year. Look at my camellia. I have one bloom right there that's about ready to bud out. But this was supposed to be part of my cut flower. No, I dug all this up, and that's why I told you this lungwort, which is called pinkaboo. I dug it all up and removed it, and it still came back. So I must not have got all the roots. But you guys, look how much came back. Look at this alyssum. Beautiful. And the dark pink right here too. Look at the eucalyptus. This comes back, but I didn't realize that it looks more like a tree. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So you guys need to tell me, like, should I pull this up and just start over each year, or should I let it stay a year or two? Let me know if you've grown eucalyptus and you know what to do about it, because I didn't think it would grow as big. I seen eucalyptus as big as me. This camellia is apple blossom. Beautiful. Lots and lots of buds on that one. Last year I had some kind of blight and all my buds fell off. So this is the first time, hopefully, that I'll get to enjoy all these buds on this one. Not a whole lot to see. Another camellia, white by the gate. I just did a video on all these where I planted all of this jasmine, snow and summer. So this is going to be a ground cover for me. So eventually these will spread 32 inches, and I think they're gonna like be beautiful when they get filled out right there. Plus, I'm never gonna have to do mulch, which is exciting for me. This planter right here is doing okay. I probably need to remove some of this mum right here, or just pick off some of the old blooms off of it. I'm not a big fan of mums because they just don't last very long. The Ms. America is looking gorgeous. And look at the cast iron plant. I love this. I may have to put this in the ground for it to winter over. I love these two colors together. The deep purple and the white with the purple in it. Don't they contrast really good together? I did a video on this if you want to look back at that video too. The sun patients are just hanging on like crazy. So I'm not going to do anything with these until the frost hits them. They look beautiful. Yes, this is supposed to be purple. It was a mistake. Actually, this blush color was supposed to be the same as that blush. There's two blushes, by the way. Need to come prune this juniper tree up, and look, I have a tree growing here. Look at this. Ah, broke it off. Pull it up by the root. I actually used the lemon cypress tree in this one, but it doesn't like to get frost, so don't let that get frost if you want to keep or hang on to it. And I do have videos on all of these plants that I have in here as well. I even did a video on my quilt planting. So you can go back and look at that too. The Dusty Millers and Violas here. I love that type of celosia. It's beautiful. And then my purple fountain grass is starting to get some plumes on it. All right, let's head over to the west side garden here. Still have some annuals hanging on. These are the Mini Vista Whites. If I'd cut them back, they would have looked just as pretty as these right here. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? This little pot turned out really cute. So I'm going to have to prune some of this back, but look how much it filled inside that pot right there. Looks like it's broken, but it's flat. I think that's a cute pot. The sun hostas are starting to put some blooms, but they're about done. This is supposed to have some pretty fall foliage, so I'm waiting patiently on that to turn. That's a sweet spire. And this is Admiration. It's a barberry that I got from S&K Greenhouse. I'm hoping that that'll break up some of my green color and give me some more red in this area. Salvia, look at the salvia and look at the bees. Look at all of the bees, you guys. Are just loving life here. Just loving it. And it's so vibrant. Love that color right now. So I have some more camellias here. These are the shishi ones, and they're white. The lily kind of bursted, the blackberry lily has kind of bursted out, and it looks like blackberries, right? This is a hydrangea that you do not want to prune. And this is Tough Stuff Aha, and is a mountain hydrangea, so you don't want to prune that or you'll not have blooms in the summertime. Gomphrena looks really good. So still does a jazzberry. I pruned that back in the summertime, and now I'm getting rewarded by gorgeous flowers. I was gone over the weekend, and my neighbor, I had a bust in the hose up there. I'll show you a picture of it, so my husband's gonna have to come and fix that. Sometimes when it's under pressure on the hose reels, when I left it on, it developed so much pressure that it like kind of busted and gave the hose an aneurysm, kind of like me doing ultrasound. That's kind of how I relate it. Spurge is very pretty. Pretty bloom here with the snapdragons. I'm excited about these. I heard they come back. I don't have very many roses in bloom over here. They're all out of bloom right now. Russian sage looks pretty. My winter Daphne that I had in that area right there didn't make it. I have no idea what was wrong with it. And then this Wadula looks beautiful right now too. It's a reblooming Wadula. And this one's called Sonic Bloom. Let me just kind of swing around here. The common space has some real pretty fall foliage on that, on those trees over there. We can just walk down this side. This is the other side of my cottage garden. Not anything super exciting to see on this side. Juniper trees look beautiful. I see like something, you guys, something happened right here. It's all broke. Need to come and fix that. My verbena looks really pretty, the tall verbena. If you see foliage on your conifers, that's normal, you guys. Some of it's normal this time of year. I know new gardeners, it kind of freaks them out, especially when it comes to the emerald green arborvitaes. I get so many comments on that tree. They are very hard to get started for whatever reason. All right, guys, I hope this video brought you some inspiration and some peace from my garden to yours. And I hope you get out into your garden as well. And I encourage you to go look up these Bible verses and spend some time with the Lord with your Bible. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.